Hey everyone, welcome to Comic Book Fanatics, and if you are a subscriber, welcome back to Comic Book Fanatics. And I hope you got something out of my last video that I did in reference to how to bag and board your books and how to properly take care of them if you're going to store them. And if you did, by all means, please like it, please share it. This video right here is going to be a little bit more on how do you take care of your books when you're actually sending them off to somebody, and how to properly store your books, or how to wrap them up if you're going to mail them off. Okay. Now, I've seen where I get a book, I win a book on an auction, or if I buy a book on an auction through eBay or a comic book store or whatever, and they send it to me, and sometimes they're just not properly taken care of, or just sent to me, or properly wrapped and properly secured, and there's some damages that happen to the book. And as we know, when you're spending money on something, you expect that book to be properly, I guess wrapped or sent to you in a condition where you're going to receive it based off of what they described, right? So I want to show you how I would send a book, or in event that if I'm sending it off to somebody, or if I'm actually sending it off to CGC or CBCS to get graded. Okay, so let's start out with the books. Say you have whether it be 2 or 3 or 4 books, or a stack of books. Okay, what you want to do is ensure that they're all bagged and boarded first. Okay, very important thing. Make sure they're all bagged and boarded. By no means do ever send a comic book without being in a bag and board, because if you do, you're just asking for trouble right there. Especially if you're sending it to somebody that just purchased it and expecting to be in the same condition as you described when you put it on eBay or for sale or what have you. Okay, so take your books with, like I said, whether it be a stack or 2 or 3. What you want to do is you want to take your books and you kind of want to have them facing each other. Okay, and if you have 4, the same thing. You just take your books and you just put them where they're just facing each other. So that way the cover, they're all facing inwards. Okay, once you do that, what I always like to do is, so I don't cause any further damage when it comes to any type of tape. And I've said before, tape is a comic book's enemy. So with that said, I always try to grab a bag, or any type of bag would do, just as long as it's going to protect it from any type of tape getting stuck onto the book itself. So I'll take the books, I'll throw it in the bag, just like so, and I'll make sure all the excess layers of the bag, parts and pieces, are folded in securely, so that way there's nothing sticking out or anything just left dangling around, if you will. Okay, and then of course take some tape, whether it be some packing tape or some Scotch tape, whatever you have available, and go ahead and just tape it up, so that way it's ready to just get put into the box, or get ready to wrap on the next step. Now the next step is you want to actually get 2 pieces of cardboard. Alright, these 2 pieces of cardboard should be approximately the same size of the book, maybe just a little bit larger in width and length of the book, because what you're going to wind up doing is placing these books, once it's taped, in between the cardboard, just like so. Alright, and once it's in between the cardboard, just like that, you want to go ahead and tape around on one side of the boards, and then another on the width of the board. I'm sorry, the length of it. Okay, so around the width and around the length, to make sure those are all taped up. All right. Now, once you've done that, you just got to make sure do a little shake, make sure it's not shaking around in there, because as we know, once we start mailing this off, the way it's going to be handled is going to be handled a little bit rough. And so when they throw these boxes around, a chance of if it's not fully secured in there, the chance of it to actually just move around and damage the book is still likely. All right. So just make sure that that it's taped around, like I said, at width and length. Now you can go as far as even taking, and this is the reason why I put the bag in here, is taking the tape and securing the book onto the board on the inside within the width and the length. I'm sorry, length and width. That way, to ensure it doesn't move around. Just kind of I guess a double measure, if you will. And then, of course, take that, as you see, and tape it around the length of it, and tape it around the width of it. Okay, that way you know. You just do a little shake and make sure. And by then, you'll already know that the boards, the comic book's already securely taped in there, and it's not going anywhere. Now, a couple ways. Well, two things not to do. All right, please do not send your books in a long, whether cardboard or paper, long envelope. Just you're asking for it to get damaged. You're asking for some issues and problems to happen on this. All right, because this, as we know, is going to get flung around. It's going to get thrown around, and there is always a chance that that book will get damaged, especially in packing material such as this. So don't do that. Another thing not to do is to stick your books into a box that has peanuts in it. All right, because what's going to happen? You're going to stick the box in there. You're going to stick the cardboard and the books in there, and what does peanut do? It shifts around when it's moving. So even with that, it's most likely that your books are going to shift around, and it's going to cause damage to it somehow. All right. So just make sure that you don't use peanuts. Now, one way you can do it is you can take a box, depending on the size of how many comics that you use, is take a box similar to this size, and you can just stick the book right up in here. Take this and just slide it right up in there. Okay, then close it up and tape it around just to make sure it's ready to get sent out. All right. Another way to do it, and this is just a way to make sure that everything's secure. Take some bubble tape. All right, and of course it doesn't have to be like this, but any type of bubble tape, and put these books in between just like that. Wrap it around. Throw some tape on there. Okay, so that way it's secure. Stick the boards in there, and you can take some extra bubble wrap if you have any, just to kind of fill out the dead space. Okay, so once you do that, you go ahead and close it up, take the box up, take it down to the post office, and mail it off. So, and it's all a matter of making sure that your books are secure and firmly taped up, so that they're just not moving around once it's shipped. I ran into an issue one time where CBCS called me, and I swear to God, I did everything just like I showed you. Okay, they called me up saying that one of my books was damaged, that a top edge of the book looked like there was a break on the cover, and there was some damage to it. I just don't see how, because the way I wrapped it, just like I showed you right there, I securely and I firmly, I shook the box around to make sure that I didn't hear any noise, I didn't hear anything moving around, and the amount of bubble tape I have was maybe to the excess, but at least I felt that it was going to get there in a safe condition, and there wasn't going to be a problem like they had called me. So to me, it sounded a little bit sketchy. However, you know, I wouldn't put it past the fact that, you know, it might have gotten damaged on the route there. So there is that possibility. So just be sure, just be very, very cautious when you send these books out, because once again, I always say this is an investment. It's your investment, so take care of it. All right. So anyways, thanks for watching again. I appreciate it. If you like this video, please subscribe and please share.